We have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. We're visiting this morning with Forrest Lucas of Lucas Oil. Forrest, when we were talking, I didn't realize you grew up on the farm. And I know that moving from the city to this rural area that I live in now, I absolutely love rural America. And of course, the big city I was in was Raytown, Missouri. It was, it's big compared to Jamestown, Missouri, but it's certainly not a metropolis like some cities. But we didn't have the chickens, we didn't have the hogs, we didn't have the cattle, we didn't have to go break ice in the mornings so the cattle could get water. We didn't have to do all those things. But I'll tell you what, marrying a farmer and in that family, you know that those roots and that hard-working ethnic that they have is what is truly the foundation, I believe, of this nation. And I'm not discounting our city folks because I love the city too, and we all have a purpose. We all make this nation what it is, but I believe rural America is the roots of this nation, the foundation. And so I want to move on with your story. Obviously, your roots made you a very strong man and a very determined person. So let's get on with your first truck.
Okay. Well, my first truck was actually an old dump truck.
An old dump truck, okay.
But I bought a new Chevrolet. This was back when there were more gas burners than there were diesels on the road. Mm-hmm. And I leased it on to Mayflower. At that time, you know, if you want to have your own truck, you're going to have to probably working with a moving van company or hauling produce, because everything else you just couldn't do it. Couldn't get your
Gotcha.
GLA, the
Couldn't do it on your own.
Over that covered.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my job with Mayflower. I went to a couple of weeks of training there, and actually my intention was to go out there and work my butt off for 2 or 3 years and save up my money and buy a gas station or some kind of business of my own. That's what I wanted to do. And they told me, and they had a class there. I was training everybody because they had so many people come and go. But they said, if you're really, really good, you can make this amount of money if you really work hard. Well, I made way, way, way more than that. But I was working really, really hard night and day, and got home on average once every 5 weeks for a day or two.
Wow.
So this is what you have to do, but it was there. I was making the money. Unfortunately, my first wife, I had no idea that she could not stand. She was spinning as fast as we could make it. She gave it away to people. So I had to get rid of her. And eventually, I kept on driving at that point in time. Mm-hmm. Took a couple of years to get caught up after her. But that's the hard working part came from because I did that when I was young, and I did it then. You know, I could go a long time without rest. And one of the main things I got out of driving with a moving van, I learned a lot because I covered the whole country. Now, most of the trucking back then was in 1 or 2 states as far as you'd go. But with the moving vans, we covered the whole country, and there's a lot of people moving back then, a lot more than there is now. You don't see very many moving vans now, but back then the roads were covered with moving vans. Going to California, everybody's moving to California or Florida. You couldn't hardly get a load out, but you could definitely get loads in. But one thing I noticed there when I was moving these people, and I was always very inquisitive, is that, and I was very good at it. So I got to move a lot of the presidents and generals and those kind of people. Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed was that all those guys who made it to the top were really nice. Mm-hmm. They were really nice to the families. They were really nice to the employees. They were really nice to me. But the guy who made it halfway up, a lot of times he was a butthole. So
There's only one way to say it, isn't there?
But it's true. So I remember that, and then I thought, it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't cost anything just to be nice to somebody. Hi, how you doing? Oh, gosh, that's a pretty dress you got on.
Well, thank you.
Things like that. I can see over here. But the little things like that, that it doesn't cost anything, but just to be nice to my people. I got a lot of people working for me now.
That is something I do know a little bit about, only because I talked to your PR man, Stuart, and he was telling me some of the things about how long certain employees have been with you. And I said, that says an awful lot about a person and a company, how they treat their people. When you see these companies that have great and fast turnovers, something's wrong. And so when you see a company that people stay with, they're being treated good.
Most of my people, honestly, don't look at their job as a job. They look at it as a career.
Mm.
They're here.
They're a part of it.
They're going to be their job for their life. Yeah, that's the truth. So that's bragging, but I'm just telling you a fact here. If you got any listeners out there who might want to remember this, it's a big deal. Real big deal. And
how you treat people is a huge deal. It really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you did well just being the truck driver, and I don't mean just, but being the truck driver. And I would imagine with moving vans, you do meet a lot of people and a lot of characters and a lot of personalities, and that is very interesting. So how did you come to start looking into the oil business, to the lubrication?
I finally ended up with several trucks and my own authorities where I could haul. I started out doing hot freighting because I get to California, there's nothing to haul back, so I learned what we call hot freighting. Back then, you had to have authority to haul anything. Well, hot freight, you could haul it, you didn't have to have authority, and that's what I was doing. I had people that I was working with there, but I learned how to do that. I got a lot of people that wanted me to haul their freight for them here and there and yonder, anywhere. So our president did away with the authorities. That opened it up to where it's easy to get authorities. A lot of the big companies went broke because they had the authorities had been hocked for so much money.
Right.
Whereas I applied for authorities, and I was the first one in the country to get a full 48-state authority.
Wow.
To haul anything I wanted to, which didn't, just the virtues did away with it, so you didn't have to have authority.
Okay.
But I did have it. Anyhow, I think I got to 14 trucks, and I knew we had to move. I was in Indiana at the time. I knew we had to move to one coast or another so I could be there where I could work on the trucks when they were there. So this was a lot of work. I was learning. There's a lot to owning a lot of trucks because I had a lot of people to take care of, the wives and getting the husbands home. Everybody trying. Not everybody was good with taking care of the money. I tell you.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to it, and maintaining the trucks. So I learned a lot about maintaining trucks. I had learned over the years anyhow. I could take care of my own equipment. But we were having problems getting through the desert. All that heat. I always had a problem getting through there. So I started looking around for better oils. If we could find something better. And additives, there were some additives on the market. And some of them were better than others. So I started picking around, trying to find what I could learn, talking to people that would know, reading up on everything I could about how oil was made. And you about ready to go off?
I am. We're going to stop there. We're going to talk about the oil business, and I want to talk about how you still have roots on the ground with with ranching and cattle and that kind of thing. But you're also into racing. You're just so many things that you cover with this oil business. And I liked when I looked up your website. It said on there, Lucas Oil Products Incorporated, made in America, sold to the world. Isn't that the American dream? We're headed into a break. I'm visiting today with Forrest Lucas of Lucas Oil, and we will be right back.